number of spheres define a corporation as an ingenious device for obtaining individual profit without individual responsibility. I think it is time to change that and make corporations accountable. Today, astroturfing is a common practice in the business industry. It is the act to make sponsors or organizations look legitimate to a business's cause by withholding financial details. Although not illegal, astroturfing is unethical, since it can shift people's opinions on a nationwide scale. One of the most prominent names in the astroturfing community is Richard Burnham. He is responsible for making multiple nonprofit groups. This might not sound deceiving at first until you learn about front groups such as Environmental Policy Alliance, which claims to be devoted to uncovering the funding and hidden agendas behind environmental activist organizations. According to The Guardian, Burnham had solicited $3 million more than his opponents against fracking. And in a secretly recorded talk released by the New York Times, Burnham told energy executives, "We run all this stuff through nonprofit organizations that are insulated from having to disclose donors. There's total anonymity. People don't know who supports us." These efforts by Burnham's friend groups have shown effective, being sourced on multiple occasions by publications such as USA Today and Congressional Quarterly. The deceit of these front groups is not only rooted in media outlets, but also in court. Dr. David Heimbeck is an example of this deceit. Dr. Heimbeck is a burn surgeon whose testimonies were used to support flame retardants in furniture. Chemicals found in flame retardants have shown to induce cancer and neurological deficits. Despite this, Heimbeck's testimony involved a dramatic story of an infant who died in a fire accident since it was lying on furniture that lacked flame retardant. Except the Tribune claims that infant never existed. And the whole story was made up to spread panic and paranoia in the court. It turned out Heimbeck was employed by Citizens for Fire Safety, a chemical industry front group, three of whom are the largest manufacturers of flame retardants. And for Heimbeck's testimony, he received $240,000. Later, Heimbeck would undergo an interdisciplinary investigation, which he surrendered his license. By far, nothing shows the deceit and the amount of harm astroturfing has on corporations as producing fake routes to promote their own corporate goals. This is best exemplified by the City Hall meeting debating to build Entergy's $210 million power plant in New Orleans. According to the Lens, Entergy claimed it was necessary to mitigate a potentially catastrophic transmission failure. Even though Entergy's opponents countered this by saying upgrading the power lines would have had the same effect, but at the fraction of the cost. The City Hall was filled with supporters of Entergy's power plant, which, according to Lens, were actors paid to attend and support Entergy. The actors were paid $60 for participating and $200 for reading a written script at the hearing. The actors were supplied by Crowds on Demand, who were responsible for hiring actors for protest rallies and creating audiences for corporations. This was revealed by Facebook posts, which offered a job of $60 to $200 for 3 hours. And through messages, it was explained that the actors needed to sit in a city council meeting and endorse Entergy. Actors were asked to sign a non-disclosure agreement, which stated that they would not disclose they were being paid. Despite the sudden and almost mysterious support of Entergy's power plant, Entergy said they were not involved in paying these actors.